You are watching Forbidden Files. In today's video, we are talking about the Sahara Desert, which was a green paradise. The Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert on Earth. 9 million square kilometers of sand, rock and scorched emptiness. Temperature reaching 50 degrees Celsius. Less than 25 millimeters of rain per year. One of the most hostile environment on the planet. And 6,000 years ago it looked like this. Lakes, rivers, forests, grasslands teeming with animals, elephants, giraffes and people, tens of thousands of people living, farming and building civilizations across a landscape that is now a pure desert. This is not a speculation, this is not a fringe theory. It is one of the most thoroughly documented environmental transformations in the scientific record. The evidence of the Green Sahara comes from the multiple independent scientific sources, each one confirming the others. Fossil animals in the desert, cave paintings showing a lush world, ancient lake beds under the sand. The Great Sahara was real, it was vast, and the people who lived there was not primitive wanderers. They were farmers, herders, artists and fishermen, who built thriving communities across a continent-sized paradise. To understand why the Sahara was great and why it stopped being green, you need to understand the slow, invisible mechanism that governs the entire planet. The Earth does not spin perfectly upright, it is tilted at an angle, currently about 23.5 degrees. That tilt is what gives us seasons. But the tilt itself slowly changes over thousands of years, wobbling between about 22 and 24.5 degrees in a cycle that takes roughly 41,000 years. More tilt meant more summer sun over North Africa. More summer sun meant warmer land surfaces. Warmer land surfaces created low pressure systems that pulled moist air inland from the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. And the moist air meant rain, lots of it. This period is called the African Human Period, but scientists also call it simply the Green Sahara. And as its peak, around 8,000 to 6,000 years ago, the Sahara was arguably one of the most hospitable environments on the African continent. About 8,000 years ago, the Earth's axial tilt began its slow return. Very gradually, the summer sun over North Africa became slightly less intense. The monsoon rains began a slow retreat southward, just a few kilometers per decade. The feedback loop, why it accelerated. Scientists expected the Sahara to dry out slowly and gradually, at the same pace as the axial tilt changed. Instead, analysis of lake sediments and pollen records shows the transition was dramatically abrupt. Within a few centuries, possibly within a single human lifetime, a green wet landscape collapsed into desert. Green vegetation absorbs sunlight and releases moisture into the air, which creates more clouds, more rain and more vegetation. It is a self-sustaining cycle. The Green Sahara did not slowly fade. It tipped and then collapsed. When the Sahara dried, it did not just end an ecosystem, it ended civilizations. The great migration south and east, the birth of ancient Egypt, drowned cities under the sand. The Green Sahara did not just support life, it shaped the course of human history, and its collapse set in motion a chain of migrations, pressures and concentrations that ultimately produced some of the most powerful civilizations the ancient world ever saw. Here is what makes this story more than ancient history. The Green Sahara tells us something about how planetary systems work and how quickly they can change. The difference in Earth's axial tilt between the Green Sahara period and today's less than 1 degree. 1 degree of tilt and 9 million square kilometers of desert became a paradise, then tipped back into sand. The second question the Sahara raises is even more uncomfortable. Could it happen again? The axial tilt cycle runs on a 41,000 years clock. But the feedback mechanisms are real, the tipping points are real, and the Sahara is a permanent reminder that the most stable looking landscapes on Earth can be permanently transformed by a shift so small it is measured in fractions of degrees. 6,000 years ago, where you see only sand and rock, there were rivers. There were lakes large enough to sail across. And then the rain moved south and the sand moved in. And within a few centuries, faster than most civilizations rise and fall, 9 million square kilometers of paradise became the largest desert on Earth. The people who lived there did not cause it. They could not stop it. They could only pick up what they could carry and walk toward the water. The Sahara has no memory of what it was, but the science does. If this changed how you see the world beneath your feet, subscribe and follow. Every file was open. Rewrite something permanent. We have 22